everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Jenny Montgomery. The Augusta Players is the longest existing arts organization in the area. For 80 years, the Augusta Players has been providing professional theatrical experiences for adults and youth. Here's one of my favorite examples of the talent. Check it out.
Look out, look out, look out, look out. Shake a leg, feel the same drag in the air. Yeah. Sha-la-la-la, stop it quick, or don't you move it. You better, telling you better. Tell your mama something's gonna get her. She better, everybody better be Little shop of horrors, rock shabop. You never stop the terror. Little shop of horrors. Oh,
What did I tell you? Wasn't that great? That was a music video for a show from this past season, Little Shop of Horrors. And while it's true, the Augusta Players has been around for 80 years, for 80 years, they've been without a home of their own. But that is about to change. Our good friend Scott Seidl is here today. He is the executive and artistic director of the Augusta Players. And Scott, we are talking today about your exciting move into a real space of your own.
You have no idea how thrilled I am personally, and we are as an organization, just in the amount of time and the gas that it's going to save me from going from place to place to place to place, which is how we exist right at the moment. We're so nomadic.
And also to be able to talk about it now publicly. You've signed the papers,
Right.
It's all happening. Why is it so important? What are the pluses of having just that identity of your own?
Well, before we even get into that, this has been a 5-year journey for us. I mean, we've been looking for a place like this since before the pandemic happened, and looked at easily a couple dozen spaces around the CSRA, mostly in Augusta proper. And so when this one was brought to our attention, it was a no-brainer. We were just so excited because it's right there in the heart of the theater district. Literally across the street is the Miller Theater, a block away is the Imperial Theater, on the same block is Le Chat Noir, on the same block is Jesse Norman School of the Arts. And so there's just a synergy and a energy of community that is a part of just the location itself, in addition to all of the amazing things that we're going to be able to do with this location. But the reason it's important is, as I just said, we're incredibly nomadic, right? We are blessed to have offices at Sacred Heart Cultural Center, which is wonderful, but then we have a warehouse that is in another part of town, and we're rehearsing over at the Crux Center, and we're rehearsing over the Jesse Norman School of the Arts, and then we're building props and costumes in another location, and performance-wise, we're all over the county as well. And it kind of limits us.
You really are.
Right, I mean, good thing I have a good GPS on my phone, especially my first couple of years here. And it just limits us, because even though all of those places and organizations are very kind to support what we do, we're also at the mercy of their schedule. And so we have a very finite and specific amount of time that we can be in any one of these locations. And so it kind of limits the offerings that we can present to our community and in the ways that we can help our community as well. And so that alone is just going to help everything that we do blossom so much. I've been saying a lot lately that we're really two things. We're a theater company that does, I think, amazing shows at the Imperial Theater and with our youth program. But we're also a social services organization as well, with things like Augusta Readers Theater for senior citizens, and Camp Wonderland for young people with autism spectrum disorder, a new program that's about to go public called Enchanted Stages, which is interactive theater for families that have people with disabilities in it. Our Outreach program, bringing over 12,000 kids into the theater on an annual basis.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
Yeah, and that material that we present to them supports the curriculum of all the area counties. Like, those are things that we do. I think the shows also serve the community in its own way, but these things are specifically designed and detailed to support the needs of our community.
Well, and I think a lot of people wouldn't know that because, you know, the hood ornament is the show.
Right.
You know, but maybe when you're sitting in the theater and you're leafing through your program, or when you go on stage and welcome everyone and say something, then maybe they know about it. but it really is impressive when you see how much reach Augusta Players has.
That's very, very true. And to your question, this building is going to allow us to expand the mission of all of those programs. We've been talking, Camp Wonderland is in its 9th year. We've been talking about, it exists for 2 weeks in July. How can we expand that mission and do things for people on the spectrum and their families all year long?
Right.
And having our own space allows us to do that. We've been talking about collaborating with other organizations around town that'll be able to use our space during the day for their programs that are very, very similar and our missions align. Taking the Outreach program and not only bringing people into the school, but now we have the space to create things that can go out to the schools as well and be able to support the curriculum in the classroom. Just so many things like that we just can't do right at the moment because we don't have the space, we don't have the bandwidth to do it. And that's all going to change once we move into this new space.
You have sent some beautiful pictures, the artist renderings of the space,
Right.
and you're going to have, like you said, the space to do the things. Your rehearsal space is going to be there. What else do you want us to know? You can describe it a little bit for
Sure.
us.
Well, everything's going to be under one roof. It's an historic building, which is really thrilling to be able to support the history of Augusta in that way. And so the exterior of the building will remain pretty much the same as it is. It's got this beautiful facade on the front of it, and we'll clean it up and do pointing and all the bricks and all those things, and be able to brand it so people know that it's us and where we are. And it'll have this beautiful public-facing lobby, which is something that we don't have right now. As I said, Sacred Heart's beautiful. But when you say come to visit us at our office, it's really hard to find us.
It is.
It's a great space, but it's difficult to find us. And we'll be able to show our history in that lobby as well for people that come in to visit us. And it'll have a couple staircases and a new elevator. Elevators are expensive, by the way. So if you need to make a donation and need a reason, that's a good one. But then it has 6 offices, which is also thrilling because it gives us room to expand. Right now we have 4 full-time staff members, myself, Roy Lewis, who runs the Augusta Junior Players, our administrator, Allison Johnson, and our new hire, Christina DiCarlo, who I know you've met with as well, and doing a tremendous job with all the things that she does for us. But we have room to expand. Actually, there's and then another office that'll be on the first floor. But just beautiful offices with a boardroom and just a lovely natural light space for us to work in on a daily basis. And then right next to that will be not 1, not 2, but 3 rehearsal spaces.
Wow.
And we need it because right now, on average, we have 3 shows in rehearsal simultaneously. We'll have a junior player show, a main stage show, and then one of these social services types of programs in rehearsal.
So you could potentially just like take your leadership eye and check in on this rehearsal studio and then go to that one, because you could have them running concurrently.
Right. And for me to do that right now, it means jumping in my car and driving to the other side of the county. And I actually will probably do a little bit of that later today because we have summer camp in session right at the moment. And a year from now, that summer camp will be the other side of my office wall.
So the timeline is that fast?
I think so. We're hoping to do a grand opening in May or early June of 2025, so not too far off.
That's great.
And the other great thing about these rehearsal spaces is 2 of them are divided by a folding wall, so we can fold that wall back and it opens up into a huge
really big space.
Rehearsal space or presentation space, or we could do events or fundraising events or small shows in that space as well, which is really thrilling.
Well, you said a key word right there is fundraising. So you're in your capital campaign. How can people help you?
There are lots of ways.
Credit card, checkbook.
Yes. And when it's time to move in about 11 months, we can use a lot of hands then too as well. The easiest way for people to help out financially is to go, we have a website that's the apcampaign.com, as in the Augusta Players, the apcampaign.com. And you can see photos of the renovation and the designs of the renovation, and explain some of our programming. And then it offers you a long list of ways that you can contribute. There are still opportunities for naming opportunities if you happen to have the resources to contribute at a high level. But you can buy a brick too. I've done a couple of those in the name of my grandmother and my parents, who are both deceased, but were so supportive of me, and lots of folks are choosing that path. But also, $5 helps.
Yeah. And a quick thing before we go, because they're wrapping us right now. Scott presented me with a lovely award when he came in that I didn't know about.
Yeah, so every year annually, it's kind of our version of the Tony Awards. We have the Augie Awards that take place every spring. And in addition to outstanding actor and outstanding choreography, we also like to say thank you to people and organizations that are incredibly supportive of not only us, but the arts community at large. And you are definitely that. Thank you so much, Jenny.
That is so sweet. Thank you, Scott. I
You're amazing.
appreciate that so much. I really do. And I appreciate all that you do in our community. I remember when you came here, and man, you have been a mover and a shaker, and you're such a leader in our arts community. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thanks.
The Augusta Players needs the community to get involved and support the Capital Campaign. It's easy. You can donate online at theapcampaign.com.